Standby like Q's 2 through 33, sound 1A through 7. On deck, standby Q actors. Electrics, kill the blue run lights, please. Like Q 2 and sound 1A. Go.
From Arizona Theater Company, this is Hang in Focus with your host, Jon Daniels.
As someone that grew up in Arizona, it's a great way for us to share the work that we do worldwide.
And featuring co-host Janelle Bragg.
That is our responsibility, is to reflect what is going on in the world.
Streaming live from the State Theater of Arizona.
So let's do it. Let's really use this moment to re-envision ourselves.
Welcome to Hang in Focus, live with Jon Daniels.
This is the new Arizona Theater Company. I'm just glad that you're here.
Today, it's a Hang in Focus birthday party. Come celebrate 1 year with us and some of the exciting guests that got the show started. Here we go.
Like Q 2 and sound 1A. Go. Sound 1.5. Go. Like Q 3 and sound 1B. Go. Actors, go.
Although the walls around us have changed, Arizona Theater Company's commitment hasn't.
We are still dedicated to sharing inspiring stories that ignite exciting conversations across Arizona, sharing the best talent our state has to offer with the country and beyond.
COVID-19 has put our season of live productions on hiatus, but your hunger for hearing our stories and engaging us in dialogue still drives us.
And so, introducing Hang and Focus, our new podcast.
Each week, we'll virtually gather and tell stories, meet artists, take classes, and celebrate the people, communities, and art that lights us up. Sometimes we'll hang.
Life in pieces. Oh, there he is right there.
Wait.
Hello. Wait, did you make a background of the white chip poster right there?
Yeah, I did. That's the thing you noticed?
That's the thing I noticed.
And, sometimes we'll focus.
We really felt that we needed an online safe space for different trans and gender nonconforming individuals to come to, just to socialize with each other, make connections with other people that identify similarly, and just have a safe space where we can get away from all the cisnanigans is what we call it.
But we will always be celebrating the amazing artistry here in Arizona and beyond.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for daily bite-sized morsels of Hang and Focus.
You know what, Jasmine?
Yeah.
I got one of those for you right now.
You do? Give it to me.
Rock and roll.
Lucky Yates is already here.
Hello, Sean Puppy Daniels.
We are just getting started.
Woohoo!
What an amazing start for our birthday.
Yes, it's our birthday! Yay!
All right, hold on. I've got to light my cake that I've got here.
I didn't know you were coming with a hat. You really came through.
I did really come through. There we go. Chanel, happy birthday. We did it.
Happy birthday. So I'm going to sing happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday, Hang and Focus. See what I did there? Happy birthday to us. Yay!
All right, let's blow it out. Something we'll never do again post-COVID is blow on cakes, right?
Right. All right, let's do it. Awesome! So I will be eating this throughout the broadcast. Thank you for sending us cake, Sean.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. You have to DoorDash people cake to be able to do it. So for anyone that doesn't know, a year ago right now, we started this idea of gathering people together. And I just want to give a shout out. I stole some of the idea from Milia Ben-Susan, who had started a talk show of her own for her own theater and was having some success. And I was like, oh, we could do that. And then poor Amelia, after like 5 weeks, she was like, I can't do this anymore. And anyway, 52 weeks later, we're still doing it to be able to put it out there and to make it happen.
Absolutely. And we had such monumental guests that have been on. We've been so blessed to have a lot of nationwide conversations and important conversations. And we've actually grown, though, quite a bit. And so this video that you saw in our pre-video was kind of giving you a comprehensive view of what it was like then. So we've definitely evolved very much from the very beginning of Hang and Focus as it evolved into a concept, an idea for us to have touch with you, our wonderful patrons, and definitely across the nation, but also through the state of Arizona. However, though, I wasn't the first host that was a part of this. I wasn't. So I think our surprise guest just come on in.
I have a surprise guest for the beginning. It's Carly. Hello.
See, Sean didn't know. I was like, how can we sneak Carly in without Sean knowing?
That's amazing. Hello, Carly.
Hi, happy birthday, Hang in Focus.
Yay.
Yeah.
I
So,
can't
you know
believe
what's
it's been a year.
right?
I'm gonna change my name now.
Yeah.
You'll just be known as surprise guest forever.
But I think what's been so great, right, is at the beginning, truly, we just started it because we were just trying to figure out, right? Like, imagine that it's the end of April. We shut down the theater mid-March. Like, we're just trying to figure out how to connect with people, how to talk to people about what's going on, how to stay connected to that. And what's been cool about it is that not only did we do that, right? I know no other theater where the senior artistic staff is available to their community every Friday at 4 for people to be able to talk about. But people like Carly and people like Will and Taj and Richard, and it's really been a staff effort to make this happen, to be able to pull them all together. And they've worked on it every week. I mean, this is how I know the week has ended, because we have this giant thing that happens on Fridays at 4 to be able to reach out to the community. And some of our episodes have gotten 14,000 people, 10,000 people. I mean, that's a huge amount in terms of what it is. And that overall adds up to over 250,000 people have watched Hang and Focus over our time, which is a lot when you consider, like, for a theater show, right, for a play, 10,000 people is a hit show. So 6 hit shows in a season would be 60,000 people. Right. Wow. And so we've actually reached 250,000 in terms of what it is just through this platform alone. And that's a real tribute to our staff and everyone that's helped to make it happen.
Absolutely. And the video showed everyone that has been a part of Hang and Focus from the very beginning. And so a lot of those faces that you saw were some of our friends that are behind the scenes that have been helping us work as our stage managers and our sound engineers and our producers. So we're just really, really grateful. But Carly, so you have been a wonderful, wonderful asset and host to Hang and Focus. I had huge shoes to fill when I joined in and helped while you were off saving our company and helping us raise all the money. So we appreciate you. But I think this would be a great opportunity for you to do a little bit of the interviewing.
Yeah. Sean Daniels, you always talk to people and interview, but nobody's actually ever talked to you. So I have just 5 questions. It's not going to be a big thing because we have some really awesome guests coming up. So we want to take a bunch of time. But
I'm just over here eating cake, so go for it.
I know. Actually, I have a huge piece of cake downstairs. I should have grabbed it before. So my first question, very important. Sean Daniels, what is your favorite color?
This is good because I talk to my daughter about this a lot. I would say that it's blue, probably blue or brown. And just so you know, hers is purple or pink. This is what we talk about on a daily basis. Yeah.
That's important. Why blue or brown?
Like, why do I like those colors? Yeah. I just think, I don't know.
Great answer.
Yeah, I know. I mean, why does anybody like, yeah, I guess, I don't know. I don't know that I have a better answer for why that or red or anything like that. I just,
that's fine.
Blue and brown. They're very, I will say, they're very 70s colors. Blue and brown. And as someone who was born in the early 70s, I feel like I have internalized the color palette of my birth decade to be able to do it.
That's a much better answer than I don't know. So we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
A little bird told me, and you may have been said bird, that you were a Doctor Who fan.
Correct.
However, what I don't know is who is your favorite doctor, and do you have a favorite companion?
I do, but you know, the great story about Doctor Who is that I had never watched an episode before I started dating Veronica Durr, and she was obsessed with it to be able to do. And so we started watching it, you know, like you try to act like you're into the things that somebody that you're trying to date is into, you kind of fake it for a little bit. And then I was like, oh my God, this is really good. Because I'd always been a science fiction fan, but somehow Doctor Who is like a little bit out of it for some people, right? It's not a part of it. So I would say, I think Matt Smith is my favorite because he was my first doctor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I definitely like David Tennant is amazing. And watching it in retrospect, you're like, oh my God, like how, like who's not attracted to David Tennant, right? In terms of what it is.
Yeah.
And also that he's gone on to play villains and other things like that. So I think like that's, but Matt was my first. So I feel like that really puts me there. And then for companions, who is the woman, like the one time that she wasn't a romantic interest? She was like a older, kind of like mouthier broad. Who was it? Who was the companion?
That wasn't a love interest?
Was not a love interest.
Oh, God. I don't know. You're not supposed to be asking me questions.
I know. All right. I'll look it up. But there's one, David Tennant has like, I mean, because later on with Matt Smith, they're always like, they're like cute and fun and like maybe there's a little bit of sexual tension. But back in the David Tennant days, there's one who is just like, just there for like.
I think her name is Donna.
Donna. That's it. That's the best one.
She's
yeah.
awesome.
Because she's not there to be like sexual and flirty. She's just like slightly annoyed that she's being dragged around the universe, which I really appreciated.
Oh, I forgot about Donna. Yeah, she's great. She's awesome.
What about you? Just real quick, what are yours?
Well, Christopher Eccleston was my first, and you always remember your first.
Really? Yeah, he's so dark though. He's so dark.
But but I have to go with Matt Smith because he's just magical. And actually, the tattoo I have, we're all stories in the end. Just make it a good one. Is Matt Smith Doctor Who quote. So so good choice. This has been a crazy year, as we all know, and in quarantine and self-reflection. What have you learned about yourself during this that you feel comfortable to share?
What have I learned about myself? You know, I think if there's like a silver lining to this all, I've really appreciated the like moments that I got to spend with people that I wouldn't have been able to because of the theater grind. Yeah. Like I had lunch every day for 14 months with my daughter. And that never would have happened before, right? Like we are kind of trained in theater to just keep going and never turn down work. And even when you turn down work because you're working, you think I'll never work again. And it's this kind of scarcity model is built into us from the beginning of there's only so many spots and there's only so many things. And I really, and you know, we miss everybody's weddings. We miss holidays. We work, you know, we try to work when other people go out, right? So you lose your weekends and you lose, you know, Christmas Eve or right after Christmas and everything like that. And so what I've really discovered is that I love being able to have that time with my family and friends. And I'm like everybody else. I was really bad at keeping in touch with everybody because you're just busy. And, you know, now I do like weekly Zoom calls with my family, which we never did. Or I have like a friend Google Hangout call. I don't know why we do Google Hangout, but we do. And, you know, I'm just better in connection with all of these people. And I've realized like, oh, that's what the most important thing is because, you know, we're all a bit careerist and nobody had a career over the last year, maybe except, you know, Dan Bakkedahl is going to come on, but outside of him, nobody had a career this year. And so it was just nice to be reminded of how just, you know, those connections and like, you know, I watched a 2-year-old eat a lot of mac and cheese and it was probably my favorite thing that happened throughout the year.
That's really awesome. Yeah, that's really special. So this is like a 2-parter and then I'll let you guys get to the great guests that we have. Why did you, okay, well, maybe it's a 3-parter. Why did you want to become an artistic director, right? Because you're a playwright and director, but you took it to the next level.
Right.
And then what is it about that career path that makes you most excited? And then the 3rd part is, what do you want the Sean Daniels legacy to be for Arizona Theater Company? So when you are like super old and gray and losing your teeth and retire, what is that legacy?
I appreciate you saying that that's in the future.
Quite a picture.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God. You know, when you're old and gray, like happening now. That's right. You know, what I love about being an artistic director. Hold on, my 1-year-old pink hat is falling off. You use what you got in the house.
That's right.
You know, it actually doesn't have anything to do with being a director or being a playwright. But the main thing that you do as an artistic director is that you make the work of other people possible, right? So what I love about doing it is that I can see projects or be a part of things with people and be able to say, like, somebody, we should do this. We should be able to support this. We should go forward. Like, your main job is that you make the work of other artists possible. And if you raise a lot of money, the organization continues. And if you raise even more money, you get to pay artists more. And I think so many people think of it as like, oh, you finally get to do everything that you've ever wanted to do, or your shows are the big budget ones and everyone else has to be smaller. And maybe it's just not the way I do it. For me, it's always been the opposite. My shows always end up being the smallest. We make the most sacrifices. We can figure out how to make it work because I know that we have the internal team. But you want to set up your guests to really have a fantastic experience to be able to do it. And so, like, that's what I love the most about it. And that's why, you know, and just talking to Chanel early on, I was like, oh, Chanel is going to be a fantastic artistic director. And A, I just want to be nice to her before we all have to work for her. And then B, it's just like that, like, that's the way she's built, right? Like, she works to make the work of other people possible. And I just feel like that's the key to being a really good artistic director. And we all know there's plenty of artistic directors that came in, it was all about them. They bankrupted their organizations and then they moved on. And then years later, Seattle Rep recovered. Oh, not to name names, you know, so, but like, that's the story over and over again that you hear everywhere that it goes. Right. And so I just think, like, you know, for me, right. So I came to Arizona Theater Company. I've told the story as a kid. It really changed my life to be able to do it. In 2016, right, the theater almost closed. It became within like a month of closing to be able to do it, right? And we all watched from afar.
Or some of us were in it.
Or some of you were in it. That's right, to be able to do it. Yeah. And so what I would love for my legacy to be is, like, not only are we the local theater that the world pays attention to, but it's like, it's a healthy, thriving organization that continues on and on. And I would love for, you know, I started Dad's Garage with a bunch of friends, and I always said, like, what I wanted to have happen was at some point, like, somebody younger than me would take over and they would tell everybody that my ideas were old and full of crap and that they were going to reinvent the place and take it to the next level. And that is exactly what happened. And that's why it continues on. It always gets that fresh energy going forward to be able to do it. So that's what I would love for Arizona Theater Company, is that, like, when we're all not here, the people inherit an incredibly healthy organization on top of it, that people can do it. You know, we did this thing the other night with Larry O'Keefe, you know, creator of Legally Blonde, the musical, and he's working on a new thing. And wouldn't it be great if we were the theater that said, like, Larry, just come do it here. Like, that sounds amazing. Like, come work it out here, right? And we're not there yet, but we're on our way to be able to do that. And we will be there in a couple of years. And that would be my goal, is that whoever takes over next comes in and is able to make those choices right away. I think sustainability is like the ultimate gift that you can do in terms of being an artistic leader. And then, you know, like, if you're not into that, like, go be freelance and just, like, sell whatever it is that you want all the time. And I think, like, that's fine too, if that's what you want to do. But, you know, sometimes building institutions, I think, lasts much longer. And at the end of the day, like, you get to watch all these fantastic other people come in and do work, and it to be shared with the world. So that's my hope.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, we are definitely in a renaissance. And I've been waiting for this renaissance since 2013. And like people, we are here, and it feels so exciting and so great. And yeah, we are, as Jerry loves to say, we are doing it, and we really are. And it's awesome.
You know, I just to, like, pass this on. So we had lunch with Mike Kasser, because, you know, my title has now been changed to the Kasser Family Artistic Director. And we were just telling him about the staff meetings and the board meetings. And then halfway through, he was like, everyone is so happy. He was, like, really confused. He was like, what's going on? Like, why have you gathered me here? You know, and it was like, no, like I've had some of my best board meetings in the last couple of months, some of our best staff meetings, in terms, like, you can feel the culture changing in terms of going forward. And, you know, part of that is just the great work that development has done, right? That the pressure is off just to be able to, with cash in the bank, right? You can actually make decisions. And, you know, what I'm excited about is like, I really wanted to come here and help to take it to the next level. And because we just started when COVID hit, the job has just been like, make it day to day, right? Move it along, keep it going. And now we're coming out of that, and we're coming out of it strong and in a better place than we were before. And we finally get to do all those things that we had wanted to.
Yeah, it's sorry, Chanel. I don't have any questions for you. We already did a whole.
Oh no, I
I
didn't want any questions about me. I'm so grateful to you coming on, Carly, being our surprise guest.
I know. Thank Carly. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. And it was great to see you yesterday, like in real life, instead of this box.
I know. And I told you, I was so surprised that like all of our staff is different heights.
Right.
Because I have only seen people like in boxes. And I was like, God, what happened to Becky? Becky got short, you know, and it was like, oh no, she's always been short, you know, to be able to do it. But it was just great to be able to see people and like start to plan and be able to, you know, what you miss is the bullshit of like sitting in people's office and like talking about them and brainstorming. You're like, we just don't get that right now, right?
We don't. Yeah, it's great. Well, thank you. I'm going to go back and continue fundraising, but congratulations, you guys. This has been amazing, and it's going to keep going. And I just, as a development person, I just want to give, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you to our amazing community all over the state and country and world. Just the love and support that you all have shown over the years, but especially this year.
Right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be set to have an amazing season and just be in the strongest position that we have been in a very, very long time. So thank you so much. Chanel, Sean, have a great time, and I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carly.
Happy birthday.
I was trying to make sure I could actually surprise you, Sean.
That was a wonderful surprise.
I know. I got to go back into my actual Zoom and figure it out now. Go back to me. Bye, guys.
How lovely.
That was great. And, you know, and I've eaten a bit of my cake. How are you doing?
Are you kidding me? I smashed this cake.
Okay.
So we have some wonderful guests that are waiting to come out. So what's exciting about Hang and Focus, we've been doing this again for 52 weeks, right? 52 episodes. And so the first couple of gentlemen that will be coming out were for our very first and second episode, I believe. And so we're excited to come full circle with the guests that were here last year at this time. So come on out, gentlemen.
Hey!
There we go. Oh, we got a new background.
Yeah, I changed my background. I got to go back to work. I'm working backstage, John. Oh, no, where's Lucky?
You want to see the jellyfish are right down that way. Just keep going, and you'll take a left at the cephalopods, and then you should be right there. Oh, hey, sorry, Dan. I'm also at work, Sean. Sorry.
Oh, everybody is. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, Dan, are you working backstage now? That's a much better gig.
Yes, I'm working
in a theater gig to save my life.
I'm sure you could. You just got to move. Move to a different town.
I mean, if you want to call a tour guide at the Georgia Aquarium Theater, you know.
Oh, that's
over here we have the spotted Bakkedahl. He came spotted when he hit 50 years old. If you'll see him
right this way, we have the crabby squid and the happy starfish and the joyous sponge person with pants that are square.
I like that
pineapple that somehow does not rot.
Yeah.
I like that we couldn't bring you on right away, and so you had all this pent up conversation. So as soon as the camera came on, you were like, "I gotta go! I gotta tell you everything." We've been working on things,
bits and bits and bits and bits.
I hope we have some questions.
No, it's just gonna be this. Just the two
I have
of
a
you.
question.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait. I should introduce you though, because people don't know who you are. I mean, people know who you are.
Hold on.
Hear Lucky's question.
Before you get to us.
Okay.
Sean Daniels, what is your favorite hairstyle and why?
What is my favorite hairstyle and why? I guess
as long as this door is open, we're going to get in there, pal. We're going to ask the hard-hitting questions. You got blue and brown. All right. What goes with it, pal?
You know, I think it's like, you know, messy, short hair. I was a member of Goatee Nation for a while, and those are regrettable years.
Oh,
and in fact, I think I knew you during those years
oh,
to
you
be able to do
absolutely
it.
did. Yes.
And so now I've gone with the like light beard, don't notice I don't have a chin look that I feel like has, you know, can work pretty well.
Shabby chic.
That's right, to be able to do it. But I would say messy shorts. How about you?
Yeah. You know, I was a messy kind of short kind of guy, but I've gone into like recently just kicking it all back, growing it so long on top that it just sort of like kicks back into I don't know. I'm going for some kind of badass look.
Yeah. And Dan, I'm sorry to bring you into this conversation.
That's okay. I'm dying to chime in. I have to tell you, I cut my kid's hair during the pandemic, and it wasn't even because like, oh well, it's a pandemic. We could have found someone with a mask. I was like, no, I want to cut your hair, dude. So I cut my son's hair and I gave him a mohawk, and I said, I'm going to give myself the same haircut. So I cut my hair the same. So I have a mohawk. It's just because I don't have any hair.
It's inverted.
It looks great.
Yeah.
You know, if you really believe, Dan,
that's right.
There will be a mohawk there one day.
You know,
that's right.
I gave my daughter a mohawk once in the bath, being like, this is an awesome parent moment. We're going to do a mohawk. And then the next day I was like, do you want another mohawk? And she was like, no, Daddy, no. And so I was like,
don't ever do that to me.
Yeah, clearly it didn't have the same.
Services.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, introductions.
Okay. So this is Lucky Yates, star from Archer.
Hardly star.
You are a star. You're in the title credits.
That just means I'm a hanger-on. Professional hanger-on, Lucky Yates.
Professional hanger-on of Archer and Alton Brown's Good Eats.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I love Alton Brown.
And still at the Dad's Garage Theater. Your legacy here is me. Congratulations.
They put Lucky at the corner.
They're like, can I swear here? F Sean Daniels. I won't swear for your nice people. I don't know what kind of outfit you're running out there in Arizona. But I'm going to bet you have don't say F words kind of money.
I didn't know that money existed.
You got to go to Lord A, baby.
Filthy.
Well, Dan's kind of made a career saying F words, right? So there's no really such thing.
No, certainly not. And most of the people I knew on that show on VEEP were all foul-mouthed people. So
let's talk about a star, Dan Bakkedahl.
So this is star Dan Bakkedahl, right? Who is on VEEP, who's actually becoming that person that's on like every third series you watch, right? You on and so like Made for Love just came out, right? He's there. Yeah. So I think most people know you from VEEP, but you've played villains in movies.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things to do, which I actually got to do quite a bit of this year, because is the Goldbergs, because of you know the attachment of childhood of being in the '80s, and then like I am the same age as the actual Adam Goldberg, so to get to play like a crotchety teacher on that show is a blast. But Sean, I wanted to say something about what you were talking about being an artistic director, dude. It warms the heart to hear somebody who is quote unquote in charge talk the way that you talk about running a place, man, because it's extremely rare. And the beauty is that you don't even know it. And that's why you are the way you are. And I'm not blowing smoke. I got no reason to blow smoke.
Yeah, somebody needs a job.
He's
like John Larroquette. Come on. What about Larroquette and Bakkedahl? What's up? Ooh, that's a poster that'll catch the eye.
Yeah. There's not enough room on there for all those letters, but
and also another we want to talk about this. Lucky Yates and I used to be roommates, right?
Yes.
And Dan Bakkedahl and I used to be roommates, so we are deeply bonded, right?
Yeah, I came after Dan in the roommate list, and I heard all these Dan Bakkedahl stories for years and years and years, and then finally we were both working for the same network and started going to events together, and I was like, dude, you're like a legend to me. Like, dude, I'm actually meeting Dan Bakkedahl. Yeah, really great. But I felt like,
the circle, and you need to move into my house, Lucky. You'll be my Fonz.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
As long as I can live above a garage.
I can work that out for you.
So we were talking earlier, because I want to bring this up, because this story seems to be coming up a lot recently, about that time, Lucky Yates, that Burt Reynolds attacked us.
Well, us is a strong, well, you with words. He attacked you with words. He attacked the monkey puppet that I was puppeteering at the time physically, because I truly believe that he thought it was an actual talking monkey at the time.
So I was hosting an award ceremony in Atlanta, and Lucky Yates as a monkey was my sidekick to be able to do it.
Let's go back a little bit. So the Atlanta Film Festival, which was like, it's not, I mean, at that point, it was still kind of small time, but they were trying really hard to make a good name for themselves. And so they were giving away these independent film awards, Atlanta Independent Film Awards, to Parker Posey, Ruby D, I believe, right? Not Aussie and Ruby, just Ruby D, I think.
But Aussie was there, yeah.
Aussie Davis was there, and Burt Reynolds. I don't know what independent films he did here, but anyway, that was
Smokey and the Bandit 2.
And Parker Posey. Parker Posey. I don't know if I mentioned her or not, but. So they hired you from Dad's Garage to sort of lighten the evening up and make it not such a stuffy affair. And so you were like, great, puppets. And then we showed up with a monkey puppet and a wisp of an idea.
And so we're hosting it, and we're telling jokes, and we're doing things. And I'm telling stories about going to the Burt Reynolds Dinner Theater in Jupiter, Florida.
Yeah.
You know, close to the home of Dan Bakkedahl. And I guess Burt's getting more and more offended as the evening's going on.
We had to justify why there was a monkey with you. And I claimed that I was a big Hollywood producer looking to exploit the next independent film. And like, I was just wrapping a remake of My Dinner with Andre with Brad Pitt and Vin Diesel. And I'm looking for the next thing. And Burt Reynolds is taking all of this as just us shitting on Hollywood, which, I mean, like, I was playing a dumb producer and I kept talking about just putting car chases in places where they don't belong. But that was like it. We like were there really just kissing Burt Reynolds' butt because we were both huge fans.
Yeah.
But I think because he saw this as like the monkey was an insult to Hollywood, then it was just all personal attacks or something. So when we were really kissing his ass, he like was taking it as us being jerks.
I think important to note also that there was an open bar, right? So Burt is just drinking essentially straight vodka, listening to us, getting madder as the evening goes on. And then finally,
he was last. That was the other thing. He was fucking last.
That's right. He's last, end of the evening. Burt gets up. He's like sweating vodka out of it. He gets up to the microphone and he says, to me, I just have one question for you. My last movie made $100 million. How much did your last movie make? And I had to say, I don't make movies, Mr. Reynolds. I run a shitty theater company in town. And then you said, I love you, Mr. Reynolds. And then he turned, made eye contact with the puppet, and then reached in and tried to
from view.
He tried to tear it apart with his hands. He tried to do it in front of the audience, rip it apart,
and grabbed the monkey by like the jaw part. And with all of his might, I will never forget the ghastly sound that he made. It was he was trying to rip Phineas's, sort of like when King Kong kills that T-Rex and he was like rips his jaws apart. That's what he was trying to do to Phineas J. Monkey. But he was an old man. He was so weak. And I was like, that was the first thing that came into my mind was like, oh my God, Burt Reynolds is so weak. And then I just tucked and rolled and just sat down there for the rest of time while he went back to the mic and chewed you out for like 5 minutes before he then went on to talk about how Sally Field was his real true love and he should have married her instead.
Yep.
So much was revealed in that moment.
Yeah. And so we leave the event, you and I, and we're like, this is the worst night of our life. Like we were gonna like befriend him. We were all gonna go out. We were gonna make a movie together. All right. And then next day, the cover of the Atlanta Journal and Constitution, which you can still Google, it says Burt Reynolds attacks puppet in giant letters across the front. And it like over the next 5 days, it blows up. And the National Enquirer.
The National Enquirer. Yep.
Yeah. Did to be able to do it. And then we were like, hey, let's go on a talk show and let's like make up with Burt Reynolds. Like that would be the great end.
Yeah, like the Daily Show reached out to us and they were like, hey, Jon Stewart's really interested in this story. Can you get a tape? And I was like, yeah, I know people at the news place that was there. And I got a hold of the tape. And then the board at Dad's Garage said, hey, guys, before this keeps going and eventually the tide turns against Dad's Garage, let's stop it. And we'd already done like all these radio interviews and all this stuff. And we were like, all right.
To be fair, and to give credit to that board, we had been slapped with a like $4 million lawsuit earlier in the year by Archie Comics for a play that Roberto Aguirre Sacasa wrote and we put on. So, you know, you kind of with your board survive one $4 million lawsuit. And then next time when the National Enquirer comes in, your board president, John Sweet at the time, amazing guy, calls and he's just like, you know, Sean, let's sit this one out. Would that be all right? And you're like, all right, John.
It was the Daily Show.
Yeah.
Look at that, Dan. I think it might have been pre-Dan, maybe even during the same time as Dan. I don't know.
I don't know. I never heard this story. This is fascinating.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. But then like we couldn't run fast enough out of the Fox Theater. Anyway, hi Chanel, how are you? Sorry.
No, listen, I am so captivated by all of this that's going on. I have a million questions in my mind because if you all have lived with Sean at one point, so now I'm wondering like what was it like living with the young Sean Daniels? Like did he eat ramen? Did he leave his socks around? Like
yeah. Why, you live with him? That sounds like, you've lived with him. Litter boxes not getting scooped, all kinds of crazy crap.
Yoo-hoo did like to poop a lot. That is you.
I did have a pooping cat. Yeah, like an angry pooping cat, right?
Named Yoo-hoo.
Named Yoo-hoo.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah, because she looked like Elsie the chocolate milk cow. Because she was all black and white spots.
Yeah.
That's real cute.
Yeah, we lived at a place called Bongo Nacho, and if anybody ever spent the night, they would get nachos in the morning as breakfast. And so we always had nacho fixins on hand, like they were the bare minimum of like a can of beans and a bag of like Doritos or whatever. But we could always make good on the promise that if you spent the night, you would get nacho breakfast in the morning.
Because we were being responsible, right?
Absolutely. We had a lot of at that apartment.
We're not going to talk about the bongo part of that, are we? We're just going to leave bongo alone.
Leave bongo alone.
Hey, McConaughey got that shit from us.
Yeah.
No, but it's really lovely though to see friends that have been friends for such a long time talk and reminisce over amazing experiences that you have all, gone through. So it's just really exciting. My face hurts from smiling and laughing this entire time.
I mean, so this is like way back. Dan was my roommate in 1992, which was approximately 4,000 years ago, if you think about it, right?
Yeah, 92 and 93, because we moved into the Honeycomb Hideout.
That's right. We lived in a place.
What are these names?
The theme is that every place has been named. We had like a logo for both of them. We tried
you gotta have it. You gotta have a name for your place. If you don't, you're not doing it right.
I've never had a name for a place.
Oh, you gotta start naming your place, Chanel.
I named my cars.
Yeah, that's good. But give your place a name. If you love your place,
I will say Dan and I, and this has never happened since, which is amazing. We had an amazing roommate named Dave Anthony who had been struck by lightning. And therefore he had no short-term memory.
Oh no.
I know stories of this guy too.
Yeah. But everyone called him the Flash because and to live with someone that has no short-term memory is a gift because your short-term memory is where you lie. So he would only tell the truth all the time because that's all he could grasp. And he was a great roommate.
Yeah. He was a total space cadet. If someone didn't tell you he was struck by lightning, you would say, "Was that guy struck by lightning or something?" Because that's just how spacey he was. Oh man.
So Honeycomb Hideout. Okay, what was the name of the other one again? The Nacho Bungalow.
Bongo
Nacho.
Okay.
But bungalow's a good word too. We should have used that.
Yeah. We had friends. It was a duplex. It was Bongo Nacho, and then we had friends that eventually took over the other half of the duplex. So then it became Bongo Nacho Supreme.
Mm.
Pretty great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although there was a lot of disharmony next door, so it really Bongo Nacho Supreme was not as great as it sounds.
Well, of course, they were responsible for buying the sour cream.
That's right.
Yes, that's why you get paid the big bucks, Bakkedahl.
Wait, so before you guys go, we should do just like a brief second of like, what are you working on? Yes. What are you doing? Right. I mean, we should actually have an interview portion to this.
Oh yeah. Okay. I really got to go soon. So let me,
you go first.
Go for it.
I got a couple of minutes. I'm at Dad's Garage. We're doing our improvised soap opera Scandal, which we've been doing since what, Sean? 1997? I want to say like September of 97 is when we opened that show.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're in an underwater laboratory, and I play French Pierre, a demolitions expert who's blowing up the seafloor for treasure, and Atlantis has come into play. So I'm at Dad's, and then Archer. We're still recording season 12 of Archer, but unfortunately Jessica passed. So I think we got to record an episode that I think they cobbled together for her or something like that. But yeah, that sucks. But the show's still going, which is great.
We have all of our guests leave with a word. So before you jam out, what's one word that you would like to leave us with today that encompasses how you feel in this moment right now? On our
oh my God, it's just one word. Oh boy, that is. I mean, it's just love. It's pure love. Jon Daniels is pure love. You're experiencing that right now. He's nothing but a warm hug. We've been best friends since what, 97, 98, something like that. And it's just like, I'd take a bullet for him 1,000 times, and I'm sure he'd at least take a good, maybe
a shiv. I'd take a shiv for you.
Like nice, clean, just freshly unwrapped.
That's right. To be.
This is why this works so well, because I would shoot Jon Daniels, and you would take a bullet for him. We are a team.
I gotta go, or Jorge's gonna kill me. All right, I love you guys. See you, Dan. Bye.
Love you too, Lucky. See you later.
Bye.
Oh, man.
I'm obsessed. Yeah, this is so great.
Phenomenal.
And then for you, Dad, like, what do you have coming up? Like you're working left and right.
Yeah, I worked left for a little while. Now I'm working right. But I just started working on a Ryan Murphy project. I'm not allowed to talk about it other than to say it's a Ryan Murphy project, which is cool because he does huge projects. He did the American Crime Story, American Horror Story, and all the stories that take place in America. And I'm really excited about that. It's a crazy good cast, and I got to shave my head for it. So it's been good. And I can't say enough about Made for Love. I think the cast in that, Ray Romano, you can't go wrong with Ray Romano, and then Krista Milioti and Billy Magnuson and Noma Dumezwini are unbelievable, fantastic theater actors from New York that came together to do a TV show, and it's crazy. It's a female lead in a sci-fi adventure. I get my fingers cut off. It's nuts, man. I've had a blast doing it.
Well, you know what I'm just so proud of with you is like we talked about a year ago, right? When everything was shutting down and you were like, right. I don't know. Is this the end of acting? Is this the end of acting for me? Is that, maybe I should sell my car and move the house and, figure out. And then like you've worked consistently since then all over the place. Space Force. I mean, you had, left and right. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's almost like that's my talisman is like, I'm going to fail. It's all over. It's done. But I heard you say that too, Sean, which I couldn't believe when you were talking about being an artistic director and saying that like, well, you always wanted, was this the last job I'm ever going to get? And I go, okay, good. If Sean feels that way and he's at the top of a food chain and I'm somewhere in the middle to bottom half, then it's just how we all feel. You know, that's the arts. That's kind of what keeps us coming back. It's that dragon that we chase.
Yeah. You know, I listen, even in best times, I get up to do my job and I think like, how do you do this? Like, how do you direct this? How does this? And, you know, and I think for so many of us after coming back for 16 months, right, we're like, how does this go? How do we help to make this again?
I lie on the couch with a broken leg for the first 3 months of the pandemic. And I thought, I'm never going to work again. And when I do, my leg's not going to work right. And I can't believe it ended like this. It went out with a whimper, not with a bang. Like, damn it. And then the next thing I knew, they started calling and we started going back to work. And like I said earlier about the Goldbergs, that was the first place I went back to. Yeah. And that's such an amazing group. It's run by healthy, happy people. It's a happy place. And that makes all the difference in the world. So I got there, they were healthy. They were handling it healthy. And I went, oh, we are going to be able to do this. We're going to make it through this. And I think it's people that did all the planning behind the scenes that made it possible for us to do it and do it safely.
And you felt safe the whole time doing all that.
With the Goldbergs, yeah, they were on it. They just had it taken care of. You know, they had, you know, look, George Siegel, again, someone who just passed, right? We were talking about, God, now I can't remember her name, from Archer and Arrested Development. Anyway, I'm a terrible person. But George Siegel was there. And, you know, when you have a senior member of a cast, you got to be super careful. And they were extremely careful. Yeah. And they really went to great lengths to make sure people were safe, you know?
Yeah.
And it's things that you think, that's not going to be affordable. And then you go, it's the same as anything else. We're still 6 to 8 feet away and we're wearing masks, but we also have these plastic shields. And you don't go anywhere until someone goes, okay, now you can go. That's all. They just shift the room. So instead of cast and crew being in the room together, it's crew leaves, cast comes in, cast leaves, crew comes in. We're not passing each other anymore, which the social part of it is kind of lost for right now, but that's temporary.
Right. So, and then what else besides this Ryan Murphy show you can't tell us about?
We can't talk about.
Okay, we're outside of that.
I don't know. I've been writing. Sean read my one of the screenplays I wrote, and that's it, man. I've been pitching a really cool idea that Sean and Lucky and I came up with. I've been pitching that, and we're hoping that finds some legs. Keep your eyes peeled for an animated show created by us. But other than that, I'm going to do a short film this weekend. I mean, an independent film this weekend with a friend of mine who has done a couple of really great independent films. I'm doing that, 2 days on that. And that's all I've got in the hopper right now. Everything else is just kind of leisure time.
Yeah. Well, that's the Zen thing of acting, right? You're like, you got nothing until you got 2 days. And then you got nothing until you got, a giant project. And then you got nothing. And, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's enjoy your downtime when you got it, because the day is going to come where you're doing 18-hour days for 3 weeks in a row, and you're not going to have any free time, and you're going to wish you had it.
Right. All right. Do you have a word for us like Lucky gave us?
Trampoline was the first word that came to my head, Sean. Trampoline. Because, well, and here's why. Because life is like a trampoline.
You're such a Forrest Gump. It's amazing.
You got your ups and your downs, and if you try to do too many tricks and you're not prepared, you're gonna break your fucking neck.
Your leg will go in the wires.
And it makes your housing insurance go up too. So don't get one.
Do you know, like my daughter loves trampolines, and now what I remember we used to do was cover them with dish soap and then jump on them, because it would make you fly off the trampoline, like it's like, how are any of us alive at this point?
No, I don't know. How did we survive the 70s and 80s? I have no idea. And the 90s and the 2000s, come to think of it, some of us. But anyway.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Good to see you, Chanel.
Thank you. Thank you for playing with us, Dan.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Oh my goodness. So that was the most fun episode of Hanging Focus. I don't think I've laughed that hard. I'm eating cake.
I know, it's pretty good.
To end our week.
Yeah. I do want to take a moment before we go. I just want to thank all the staff that works on the show, because it's a lot to do it every week, right? For 52 episodes. So to all the staff at Arizona Theater Company that helps to make this show, from the people that market it to produce it. It's a huge undertaking, but it's what a gift for a way for us to connect with our audience over and over again every week. And, you know, we came on when we said we're coming back, and then we came on and talked when we said we're delaying again. And, you know, it's just a way for us to be honest with people about where we are. And so, but none of that happens without our staff. And I truly believe, and I said this at the staff meeting, there's a version of this timeline where we don't have this same staff, that it doesn't work out for us, that this really is the end of Arizona Theater Company. But because we have the staff that we have, we were able to push through, we were able to better ourselves, we're able to grow, and now we're coming back in the fall even stronger than before.
Absolutely. And for the Hang and Focus platform, we are excited that you have been following with us for the last year, watching our shows, engaging with our amazing artists, and that's going to continue. So as we start to announce how our season is going to start coming on and we're going back into production, do know that you can always count at 4:00 on Friday that something that is Hang and Focus related will be released. We do believe in this connection with our audience, and we want to keep that alive, but it may shift. It may look a little bit different in the future, but for now, every single week, you can still count on Sean and I showing up at 4, excited to entertain you. Now, we always ask our guest at the end of the show for a word, as you heard from the 2 gentlemen that were on before. So we want to leave you with a little bit of a package that shows all the beautiful words that we've heard across 52 episodes. And we'll see you next time.
See you next week.
My word is balance.
Stillness has been my word.
It's really easy to feel off kilter right now with everything that's going on, and just reinfusing yourself with some creativity, whether it's writing or performing, kind of helps to rebalance how we're feeling and how we're navigating current times, I think.
My word is listen.
Undergo.
My word is mercurial. So I think it's just kind of amazing what happens when you allow like sudden shifts and changes. Be mercurial. Cool things might happen.
My word is a word that I've actually been thinking about a lot over the past several months. It's fallow.
I think my word is abandon.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I put a lot of pressure on myself. There were things that I wanted to write and I wanted to finish. I actually
persistence was the first thing that came to mind.
I needed to rest my creative ground and let it become fertile again.
I feel like in watching everybody's work, we're all connected in this special experience. And I think that's really awesome.
I just felt so much pride, you know. I think I mean, let's be honest, we didn't really know how this was going to go. You know, we had like the best intentions, but you know, every piece of art made is a bit of a crapshoot in terms of how it comes together. And so really just what I felt sitting on my couch, watching video after video come up and just being so impressed with everybody and just blown away by the scope of what people were tackling. It did that great theater thing where we say, what does it mean to be alive today? And here are different takes on the answer to that question. So that was the thing that I was left with. So I want to thank all of you for doing it. I want to thank all of you for putting yourself through it. I want to thank you all for learning how to be video editors and upload things and Google Forms and all the things that, you know, we didn't know we were going to have to do, but you did. You all did an amazing job.